Welcome, fight fans, to San Antonio, Texas. It is hot and sweltering outside, and the action will be equally as hot here at Boeing Arena at the Tech Port as the PFL playoffs for 2023 begin in our featherweight and light heavyweight division. Bubba Badman Jenkins, Jesus Pinedo in a main event, Josh Silveira, Ty Flores in a co-main. Everybody looking to punch their tickets to a championship where a $1 million prize and a gold belt await the champion. It is the playoffs, and if you're new to the PFL, you might not understand in the sport of mixed martial arts why I'm talking about playoffs. Let me explain how it works for you here in the Professional Fighters League. 10 fighters in each weight class, 6 different weight classes. 2 regular season fights, those are already in the books. 3 points for wins in those, bonus points if you can get a finish in any round, and the top 4 fighters in each division make the playoffs. That's where we're at now here in San Antonio. This is the playoffs. $1 million, as I just mentioned, for the champion in each of our divisions. So you see those top 4 fights, those are all playoff bouts. It's win or go home. It's win and keep a $1 million championship dream alive. If you can't, well, good luck next year. We'll open our main card with the showcase bout between Elvin Espinosa and Keone Diggs as well. Here are the odds. You can see Bubba Jenkins, Josh Silveira, our red corner favorites. Silveira, a big-time favorite at -575. Chris Wade and Impa Kasanganai are blue corner favorites. Sean O'Connell and Randy Couture and Kenny Florian here for the playoffs. It does not get better than this in the sport of mixed martial arts. And Randy, this is the second to last step on a really tough, really long journey in the 2023 season.
Yeah, sometimes you have to wish or be careful what you wish for. You want to be a PFL world champion, you're signing up to fight 4 times in 8 months. That is no small feat. That means you're going to have to manage your camps different, manage the injuries different, and it is a big challenge.
A big challenge that I think experience probably helps, because if you've been here before, you kind of know how to manage those camps. You know how to keep the bumps and bruises at a minimum. Well, in our semifinal playoff fights tomorrow night, Kenny, it's someone who's been here before versus a PFL rookie.
Absolutely. Love the bolo tie, by the way. He pulls it off,
does.
Randy, right?
He's the only one that can pull that off.
Absolutely.
Frankly.
Well, that's what's so interesting. We have, guys who are experienced being here in the PFL playoffs, taking on PFL newcomers. So I'm really interested to see how that all plays out.
Let's take a look at our featherweight bracket first. Our main event is a featherweight bout. Bubba Jenkins, the #1 seed. He's looked great all year. Jesus Pinedo is coming off a massive upset. We'll talk about that in just a second. That's how he punched his playoff ticket. Gabriel Braga, the 2 seed, started his year in our Challenger Series. He's taking on Chris Wade, and you can see the 5 next to Chris Wade's name. He's in as an injury replacement for one-time champion Movlid Haibulaev. Injury takes out Haibulaev. Chris Wade had put himself in that position, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's start with the #1 seed, because Bubba Badman Jenkins, he's back. He's the experienced side, as you were just talking about, of the playoff bout here. What do you expect from Bubba?
Yeah, that's right. His 3rd year here in the playoffs comes from that amazing wrestling background. Was the NCAA Division I national champion, and we knew him as a wrestler, but he has developed into a complete mixed martial artist now, has turned into a finisher. We saw that against Jo Sung Bin. There's that rear naked choke. Before, he would just kind of be on your back, would use that, ground and pound. Now he has a lot more tools at his disposal, and he's looking to use that tomorrow night.
Bubba Jenkins looking more confident than ever, and that's really saying something when you're talking about Bubba Jenkins. Now let's talk about his opponent, Jesus Pinedo. Back against the wall, and he needed to pull off the biggest upset of the PFL season just to earn himself a spot in the playoffs. And of course, he did just that.
Absolutely back against the wall. He lost a very close split decision to Braga in his first regular season fight. This guy has 16 finishes in his career. 12 of those are by knockout. Very well-rounded, very aggressive. Here you see against last year's champ, Brendan Loughnane, the knee right up the middle. Finishes the night, puts him in the driver's seat, and secures him a spot in the playoffs. He's very excited, very well-rounded. This guy is a finisher, absolutely.
Well, he's going to need a finish to get past Bubba Jenkins. We'll talk about why when we get to the scales. All right, you just mentioned Gabriel Braga, who, of course, Jesus Pinedo fought in his first regular season bout. Braga, he started, as I already told you, on our Challenger Series. He wasn't even on the PFL roster when 2023 began. Earned himself a spot. Now he's here in a semifinal.
Yeah, Braga's 11-0. This kid's undefeated. Started in Muay Thai before he transitioned to mixed martial arts. Very, very aggressive fight. He's got 5 knockouts to his credit. He's a very, very good fighter, great fighter IQ. And here he is against Marlon Moraes. This was a huge victory for him to secure his spot in the finals. He's been on point all season long. Can he continue the momentum going into this playoff fight and a shot at the championship?
To Braga's credit, he told us in Orlando on the Challenger Series, he said, I'm going to win this contract, I'm going to earn my spot, and I'm going to win $1 million championship. He's a couple of steps away, but we'll see how he fares tomorrow night against Chris Wade. It's not third time the charm that Chris Wade is hoping for. This is his 5th trip to the semifinals.
Yeah, and that's a tremendous amount of experience to overcome. And Chris Wade has also developed into a tremendous mixed martial artist as well. It seems like every year he gets better and better and more dialed in. You know, and when he was told he wasn't going to be able to get into the playoffs, he stayed believing and he stayed training. He's extremely motivated here. And he did everything. He's in this position now because he got that first round finish, that beautiful guillotine that he's very well known for. He's very dangerous with that. He has excellent takedown, very good striker as well. That is going to be a phenomenal fight.
Yeah, the tiebreaker between Jesus Pinedo and Chris Wade came down to who got it done faster. Yep. Pinedo pulled off the upset over Loughnane just a little bit quicker than that first round finish for Wade, but he's very much earned his spot because Movlid Haibulaev was out. 6 points, boom, Chris Wade is in. So that's the featherweight picture. Let's take a look at our light heavyweight bracket because everyone loves the 205ers. Josh Silveira, he's the #1 seed. This is his 2nd trip to a PFL semifinal. He takes on the newcomer in the 4 seed, Ty Flores. And then in the 2-3 matchup, it's Martin Hamlet, who is a 1-time runner-up, against Impa Kasanganay. Let's talk about the 1 seed, Randy. Josh Silveira. If you were a hardcore MMA fan, you heard about this guy 3, 4, 5 years ago. If you were watching some of the regional scene, he's a 2-division champion. Simply put, he's born and raised to be in this position.
He's absolutely been raised in the gym setting. His father's Conan Silveira is a famous guy in our sport. I fought on several cards with Conan. He's amazing. He's now Josh's coach. Here's a kid that went away to Arizona State, wrestled there, has a great wrestling pedigree, great black belt in jiu-jitsu. Here he is with the rear naked choke on Sam K. 2 first-round finishes in his regular season fights put him in that #1 seed. He has got his legs under him, and I think he's coming into his own right now.
So Ty Flores, let's talk about him. Comes in as a relative unknown, and he has just put incredible grit and toughness on display to get here.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's a proper 205-pounder. Josh Silveira, a little bit smaller. He's going to try to use that size and height advantage against Josh Silveira. And he comes from one of the best teams in the world. He trains at Team Elevation, is on a 4-fight win streak right now, an absolute grinder, hits a lot of great takedowns up against the cage, has good positioning, good ground and pound, extremely durable and tough. And this is another great fight here.
So a fun 1 versus 4 matchup. Let's talk about the 2 versus 3. Randy, Martin Hamlet comes from a background you're very familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely. This kid's a 7-time national champion in Norway in Greco-Roman wrestling, one of the great wrestling styles that translates very, very well to mixed martial arts. Each and every time we see Martin step out there, he refines himself a little bit. He figures out how to put more of his wrestling experience into fighting situations. He learns how to manage his energy. Here's the rear naked choke. Here, a great double leg takedown. Again against Sam K. This kid is coming into his own and figuring out how to translate that wrestling background into championship fighting.
His opponent, Impa Kasanganay, similar to Gabriel Braga, he started his year not on the PFL roster. He's a UFC veteran who's a man with no country. And then he said, you know what, I'll earn my spot onto the PFL roster any way I can. Agreed to a Challenger Series fight, wins that, wins the contract. Now here he is, 1 fight away from $1 million chance.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't have a whole lot of PFL. He has 0 playoff experience here in the PFL, but he has a lot of high-level MMA fight experience. And, you know, his stoic mindset lends itself very well, I think, as well he may not be as big as Martin Hamlet, but he's definitely going to have a big speed advantage. He's going to be lower. He's going to have a lower center of gravity. It's going to be harder to take him down. He needs to use his footwork and his speed in this fight. There's a guy that can pull it off. It's Impa Kasanganay.
Fun matchup at 205 pounds.
How do I think? Oh, Sean? How would you match up, buddy?
How would I match up with these 205ers? I'd smash all of them. What are you talking about? These guys are lucky my wife makes me stay retired. I'd be stealing $1 million right out of their pockets. I can say that because I don't actually have to fight any of them. That's how it works. All right, here's our early fight card. Not playoff bouts, these are showcase opportunities. This is actually huge because a lot of these guys are trying to impress the bosses and earn their spot in 2024's PFL season. We'll start in the light heavyweight division with Billy Elikana and Chuck Campbell. You can see Billy is the favorite there. Some women's featherweight showcases on this one and a pair of welterweight showcases as well. You see Thad Jean, the -500 favorite in our early card feature bout. I want to talk a little bit about the still undefeated Thad Jean. You saw he was a big favorite there, earned his place on the Challenger Series.
Yeah.
And he says, look, I want to be part of the season. Got a tough fight ahead of him to prove he belongs.
Absolutely, but at 5-0, he's got an amazing fight IQ for only 5 fights on his record. He's long, he's rangy, he uses his striking. He knows exactly where he's at and where he wants to stay. Not afraid to step in the pocket, got a lot of different tools and weapons. His wrestling defense is on point so he can keep fights standing where he likes to be. He's a very, very skilled fighter. We've seen this time and time again in the Challenger Series. He looks great, and he wants to impress the bosses and get a shot in next year's regular season.
He's a huge welterweight.
Yeah.
His opponent, also a pretty dang big welterweight, Ali Omar. Does he have the well-rounded skill set necessary to beat a Thad Jean?
You know, he definitely believes he does, and he has a great background. Comes from a great wrestling background at Iowa, also has excellent striking as well. And we saw that on full display in the Striker Challenger Series. You know, had excellent kicks, very, very fast. A lot of different ways that he believes he can defeat Thad Jean. So he's looking to play spoiler here with that wrestling skill and with his very good in and out striking.
So huge opportunities for all the fighters on the card tomorrow night. For the showcase fighters, it's can I get onto next year's roster? For, of course, our fighters in the playoffs, they're trying to punch their ticket to a championship. But tonight is the weigh-ins, and it's all about getting these fighters on the scale. So let's get to that. We begin in the light heavyweight division. Billy Elikana representing Samoa, and Chuck Campbell. Our smart cage announcer, Andy Shepard, has once again made the trip. Andy?
Thank you, Sean. Yes, everyone is feeling the heat here in Texas, not least our athletes who will be competing in San Antonio tomorrow night as the PFL playoffs commence. Now, on our early card, we have a plethora of Challenger Series alumni and debutantes taking place in wild card matchups. Now let's welcome the man who will be overseeing our weigh-ins this evening and whose eyes they'll be looking to catch in President of Fighter Operations, Ray Sefo. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Chicago, Illinois, Chuck Campbell. Official weight 205 3/4 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of North Las Vegas, Nevada, and representing Samoa, Billy Elikana. Official weight 205 1/2 pounds.
Up next, a women's flyweight showcase between Chelsea Hackett, who made the trip all the way from Australia, taking on Kai Bennett.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Denver, Colorado, Kai Bennett. Official weight 124 3/4 pounds. And in the red corner, from Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia, Chelsea Hackett. Official weight 125 3/4 pounds.
Up next, welterweight showcase, 170 pounds, 3 5-minute rounds. Anthony Ivy, Carson Hart.
First, in the blue corner, fighting out of Lehi, Utah, Carson Hardman. Official weight 168 1/4 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, Anthony Ivy. Official weight 171 pounds.
Back to the women's flyweight division for another showcase affair. Des Yanez, Lisa Malden.
First, in the blue corner, fighting out of Orange, California, Lisa Malden. Official weight 125 1/4 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Big Spring, Texas, Desiree Yanez. Official weight 125 pounds.
£170 contest in the showcase division. Thad Jean, Ali Omar.
In the blue corner, fighting out of Iowa City, Iowa, Ali Omar. Official weight 171 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Broward County, Florida, and representing Haiti, Thad G. Official weight 171 pounds.
So that caps off our early card with the feature at welterweight. Brings us to our ESPN card. We'll start things in the lightweight division with a showcase affair between Elvin Espinosa and Keone Diggs. And once again, Andy Shepard.
Yes, tomorrow night on our main card, we're going to find out who in the light heavyweight and featherweight divisions will be competing for the PFL championships and those cool $1 million checks. You can catch our main card on ESPN and ESPN Plus from 9 p.m. But we begin our main card with a special showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Waipahu, Hawaii, Keone Diggs. Official weight 156 and 1. And in the red corner, fighting out of Miami, Florida, and representing Nicaragua, Elvin Espinosa. Official weight 155 and 1/2 pounds.
And then things get real serious because our playoff semifinal bouts begin here. In the light heavyweight division, Martin Hamlet on one side, Impa Kasanganay on the other.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Deerfield Beach, Florida, Impa Kasanganay. Official weight 203 3/4 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Tonsberg, Norway, Martin Hamlet. Official weight 206 pounds.
Let's take a look at our tail to tape for this one. You can see on the scales a size disparity. Martin Hamlet is also 2 years older. He's listed as an inch taller. He weighed in at the light heavyweight limit of 206 pounds. Reach advantage on both arms and legs, favoring Martin Hamlet. Kenny Impa Kasanganay has impressed us so far, but he is the much smaller fighter here.
He is, but he can definitely use his speed as an advantage. His footwork's going to be key, and of course, he's going to have to stop that takedown. But he said he's been repeating this mantra throughout, this whole year. He said from challenger to champion, of course, he wants that $1 million.
And Impa Kasanganay is standing by with our very own Paige Van Zandt. Take it away, Paige.
All right, Impa, you are 3-0 in the PFL with 2 finishes, but how do you feel going into your very first playoffs?
I'm prepared. I'm at peace, dialed in, ready to go, Looking forward to claiming victory.
Absolutely, and your opponent was a 2021 runner-up. Do you feel any added pressure knowing that he has experience in this position?
No, I don't feel pressure, but I have a lot of respect for Martin. He's an excellent fighter, and he deserves to be here too. So I'm looking forward to getting out in the cage with him and going to war and claiming this victory.
Awesome. Good luck tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Paige. Thanks, Impa. Let's talk about the other side because we've seen, as Paige just mentioned, we've seen Martin Hamlet in this semifinal position before. We saw him fight in a final where he came up short and was, quite frankly, understandably upset about it. He's gone back. He's made some changes. Has he made the necessary changes to push all the way through?
Well, I think each and every time we see him out there, he makes some adjustments, he makes some changes, and he gets a little bit better each and every time he puts himself out there. He's just still continuing how to force that wrestler's mentality of go, go, go for a 6-minute match into a 15-minute fight, and he's still regulating that and figuring it out all the time, but he's dialed in.
He's standing by with Dan Hardy.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Martin Hamlet. So we spoke earlier. You've got this very kind of calm, confident energy about you the whole time you've been in fight week. Where does that confidence come from, and how are you feeling ahead of the fight?
Of course, it's come from experience, and I feel like I found my home in PFL. And Impa is tough, but to try to squeeze me out of another final, it ain't happening.
And you know you've got the size advantage in this one. How best can you utilize that size advantage against your opponent?
It's always hard to, when you're planning on fights, but I see myself a huge favorite this season. A lot of people don't, but they see tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it, my friend. Good luck.
That brings us to our first featherweight playoff semifinal. Gabriel Braga and Chris Wade, 3 5-minute rounds.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Islip, New York, Chris Wade. Official weight, 146 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Gabriel Braga. Official weight, 145 3/4 pounds.
Take a look at the tail of the tape here. You can see the age disparity. Chris Wade is 10 years older than the rising Gabriel Braga. Wade also an inch taller. Both men weighed in at the featherweight limit. It's a tough cut for both of them. Gabriel Braga has a 2-inch reach advantage on the arms, but the longer legs belong to Chris Wade. Randy, let's talk about Chris Wade and the position he found himself in the second half of the regular season. He needed a finish. He needed a first-round finish, and he got it. Put himself in a good position, but with still bouts left on the card. Had to go backstage and watch while Jesus Pinedo pushed him out of the playoffs by getting a quicker finish.
Yeah.
But he told us over and over again, he said, I have a feeling I'm going to end up back here. Mavlid Habulayev gets an injury, and Chris Wade, he was already preparing. He was already working out, and it's a good thing because it's such a tough weight cut for him.
Yeah, Chris's intuition was spot on. Here's a guy who just keeps reinventing himself every season. We saw him in the first 2 seasons at 155. He was going to maybe not get the nod to be in the season, the third season. So he went down a weight class, which is no easy task. He was already lean at 155. It's questionable how he was going to make 45, but he's done it, and he just continues to get better and improve each and every position. It's tough not to root for Chris, honestly, after all he's been through.
Chris is with Paige Van Zandt.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Chris Wade. Chris, this is your 5th PFL semifinal showing. You were a 2021 runner-up. We've seen you grow and develop as a fighter. It feels like we're kind of waiting for your breakthrough moment. Why do you feel 2023 is your breakthrough?
You know, honestly, just the way this season has shaken out, it's a unique situation. And I had a feeling since I walked out of the cage the last bout that this story wasn't over. So it just has a special feel to it.
Absolutely. And not looking to the championship, but your fight tomorrow night, what do you need to do to guarantee that you get to fight for $1 million one more time?
Well, listen, I think Gabriel's a very well-rounded young fighter, but with that being said, I have a lot of experience, and I think I just need to lean on that. I need to be aggressive like I was in the last fight, and go to my experience, get into scrambles, and let the chips fall where they may.
Absolutely. Good luck tomorrow. Guys, back to you.
Thank you for Paige and Chris. Now let's talk about Gabriel Braga. This is a guy whose dad was a fighter.
Yep.
He actually fought on the same card as his dad in his dad's retirement night. It's a pretty unique situation. He's 11-0. He's 25 years old. Sky's the limit. But in front of him is Chris Wade. What's going to be the key for Braga?
Well, I think his maturity is going to help. You know, he's extremely mature. He's extremely focused. He can rely on the experience of his father, who was a very accomplished and experienced mixed martial arts fighter as well. And he said, you know, I'm just focusing on all the work that I've been putting up and to this point. He is coming in very, very confident, focused, like I said, and I think this is going to be an unbelievable fight.
Checking in on that confidence and focus, Dan Hardy is with Gabriel Braga.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Gabriel Braga. Happy, smiling, confident, undefeated. What's the key to your success, my friend?
Sorridente, confiante, invicto. Qual é a chave do seu sucesso?
A chave do meu sucesso é muito trabalho duro e eu me dediquei bastante nesse camp. Amanhã eu vou mostrar um show.
It's just hard work. I dedicated a lot throughout this camp, and tomorrow I'm going to showcase it.
Now, of course, Chris Wade's a very familiar person to the PFL fans, but you're a new face to the PFL. What's your message to the fans to let them know what you're all about?
Chris Wade é um cara que já, enfim, os fãs do PFL já são familiarizados com ele. Você é uma cara nova aqui. Qual é a sua mensagem para os fãs?
Cara, eu cheguei para dominar isso aqui, entendeu? Então, todo mundo vai me conhecer. De alguma forma, eles vão me conhecer.
I came out here to dominate the PFL. One way or another, fans are going to hear about me. They're going to find out soon.
I'm excited to see you fight, my friend. Good luck tomorrow. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dan. Second light heavyweight semifinal will serve as our co-main event. Josh Rivera, the 1 seed, Ty Flores, the 4.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from St. Louis, Missouri, Ty Flores. Official weight 205 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Joshua Silveira. Official weight 204 pounds.
Here's our tail of the tape for this co-main event. Josh Rivera 30, Ty Flores 29. You saw in the face-off, Ty Flores is the taller fighter. He's also bigger, weighed in right at 205 pounds. It is a tough cut for him. Silveira comes in just a little bit light at 204. Both men with 75-inch arm reach. Slight advantage for Josh Silveira on the legs. Kenny Florian, I feel like Ty Flores is the very definition of the sleeper in something like this. He'd rather talk about hunting than fighting. You know, he came in as kind of an unknown, but he's looked impressive so far in the Smart Cage.
Yeah, that's right. He's very quiet. He's very durable. Those are the guys you got to watch out for. And he's very good at getting guys to play his fight. He's very good at, you know, jamming them up against the cage, hitting takedowns from there, controlling you, landing ground and pound, and winning rounds. And that's what he's going to try to do against Silveira.
He's standing by with Paige Van Zandt. Paige?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Ty Flores. All right, you're on a 4-fight win streak, 5th fight within a year. I really want to know, how does your body feel going into this fight?
Body feels great, man. I've been taking care of it, been winning, and I feel the best I've ever felt.
Awesome. You're fighting Josh Silveira, who was a 2022 runner-up. Did you watch his fights, and do you feel that you have insight on how you know you need to beat him to be able to fight for $1 million?
Yeah, I watched all his fights. He's a tough competitor, but I'm going to bring the dogfight.
Awesome. Thank you. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Ty. Let's talk about the other half of this equation because, you know, we talked about it already. Josh Silveira, the son of an MMA legend, right? Now trying to, like, make his own way, establish his own name. Your own son went through some of this, right? There's a certain amount of expectation associated with that Silveira name, and so far so good for Josh, but the championship has so far evaded him. Can he push through?
Man, I think he's really coming into his own right now. His wrestling background's kicked in. He's, like I said, grown up in this gym environment, been around champions, seen how it works, and now I think he's got his legs under him, and we're going to see him pull that off and execute. Made it all the way to the finals last year and lost to his teammate, Omar Akhmedov. Said that will not happen again.
Yeah, semifinal loss to Omar Akhmedov last year. And yeah, you have to fight a teammate. That's a tough dynamic, right? So now he's here against a stranger. Probably makes this semifinal at least a little bit easier. Dan Hardy has Josh Silveira.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Josh Silveira, one of my favorite fighters to watch right now. And we spoke earlier in the fighter interviews. I felt like I got better as a martial artist listening to you talk and break down your opponent. What's it like with that fight IQ coming into these fights? And how do you stay so calm and humble being one of the favorites on the card?
Yeah, man, I was born for this, man. My dad's a pioneer. I was always in an MMA room, jiu-jitsu room, wrestling room. So, you know, closer to fight night, I'm just calm, collected, man. My dad's Conan Severa. He's taught me the ropes, the ins and out of these things. And this is my life, man. I can't see myself doing anything else.
And do you feel like you're starting to arrive at the position where you're at your peak of your career, or is there more to come yet?
There's more to come, man. I think we're just knocking on the door, you know. I think what the PFL offers is unlimited, you know. So we're just knocking on the door, and I get excited when I think about the future. My dad gets excited. My family gets excited. I've been going at this my whole life. Man,
I'm looking forward to watching you compete again, my friend. Good luck tomorrow. Back to you guys.
And that means just one more fight to get on the scales. Our main event, featherweight semifinal, Bubba Jenkins, Jesus Pinedo.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Lima, Peru, Jesus Pinedo. Official weight 146.5 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Virginia Beach, Bubba Jenkins. Official weight 145.75 pounds.
Main event tail of the tape looks like this. Bubba Jenkins, 35 years of age. Jesus Pinedo is 27. Pinedo, you saw in the face-off the taller fighter at almost 6 feet. 147 pounds. Jesus Pinedo did not make weight for this playoff semifinal. He does have the reach advantage on both arms and legs. Let me tell you what missing weight means for Jesus Pinedo in a semifinal. He starts the fight minus a point on the judges' scorecards. And because of that, he either has to win by finish or he's got to win every round. Because if this goes to a split a round apiece, right, or a draw of any sort, he loses the tiebreaker having missed weight. So for Jesus Pinedo, the path to a championship gets a little bit more narrow because of the missed weight. Having said all that, Randy, Jesus Pinedo came in with a chip on his shoulder. Feels like he's still not getting the respect he deserves for beating Brendan Loughnane. Everyone's talking about Bubba, and he kept doing this. He wants to shut up all the haters.
Well, he's had a chip on his shoulder all season long. He lost a very tough split decision against Braga in his first regular season fight. He was at his back against the wall going into last year's champion, Brendan Loughnane. He lands the knee in the first 25 seconds of the fight and finishes, get the quit 6 to put himself in this position. He said traveling was a big issue for him getting here, and he missed weight by 0.4, just a half a pound. So really unfortunate. He puts himself in a tough spot, but if anybody can come through that spot, it's this kid right here, Jesus Pinedo.
Jesus is standing by with Paige Van Zandt.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Jesus Pinedo. Now, you're coming off of an extremely impressive win over Brendan Loughnane. We know you had travel issues which resulted in missing weight. Do you feel well rested now? Do you feel rehydrated? Do you feel like the stress of traveling is taken away from the equation and you're prepared to fight tomorrow?
Tuviste problemas para llegar aquí, pero ahora ya te sientes mejor, ya has dormido, ya tomaste agua, ya todo está bien?
Sí, estoy totalmente listo para mañana.
Yeah, I'm 100% ready for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Now, $1 million is still on the table for you. To get the opportunity to fight for $1 million, you do need to win in an impressive fashion, either by unanimous decision or get a finish. Do you believe one of those two options is going to happen?
Para llegar al campeonato vas a necesitar el knockout o terminar la pelea o agarrar la unanimous decision. ¿Tú crees que lo vas a agarrar mañana?
A eso vine, estoy totalmente seguro de que mañana Búa va a caer.
That's what I came for. I'm 100% sure I'm going to get the finish tomorrow night.
How do you think you're going to get the finish tomorrow? Are you going to knock him out or are you going to submit him?
¿Cómo vas a ganar la pelea? ¿Por sumisión o por knockout?
En verdad, por donde se presente, no puede ser knockout, puede ser sumisión, pero esa pelea no llega a decisión.
Wherever it presents itself, it could be a finish, it could be a submission, or it could be a knockout, but tomorrow night it's not going to distance.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
So a very confident Jesus Pinedo, and if you're going to fight someone with the credentials of Bubba Badman Jenkins, you better come in confident. He's gotten better and better, talking to Bubba.
Yeah.
Every single, not just every season, every time we see him.
Yeah, no question about it. We've seen him do some growing up here in the PFL. And as you mentioned, he started out as just a wrestler, but he has improved his striking to a level where he is a legitimate threat on the feet. And as far as getting positions on the ground now, he can submit you as well. So he's firing on all cylinders here in 2023, and this is the best Bubba we've ever seen.
That best version of Bubba is standing by with Dan Hardy.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Bubba Jenkins. So the fight's not going the distance. Do you feel relieved that you don't have to do the full 15 minutes?
Yeah, I feel pretty relieved, I'm going to go in there, be Badman, do Badman things all 2023. Him not making weight, put a little bit of pressure on him. He's got to go in there and try to beat me in the most impressive way. He's got to beat me all 3 rounds. He's got to try to knock me out or submit me, and I don't see it going very well for him.
And Badman things being suplexes and rear naked chokes and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, if I get behind him, he's getting suplexed. He's going on the first flight to San Antonio Riverwalk with the nicest amenities.
Do you look at tall guys and think to yourself, man, he's a height and reach advantage, or do you think he's going to be much easier to lift up and slam on his head?
I think a little bit of both. I got long arms for being, a guy who's 5'8", but I do tend to focus on that torso. And if I wrap these long arms around that torso, he better have a different strap than a seatbelt, because it's going to be a terrible landing.
I love your interviews almost as much as your fights, my friend. Good luck tomorrow. Back to you guys.
So Bubba has fought well this season. He fought well last season. He's feeling good. He's managed that stuff Randy was talking about earlier, training camp, making sure you're not going to get injured, making sure the bumps and the bruises heal before you get back into the intensity of training, because this is what it's all about. These playoffs are what these fighters are here for. Yes, you want to win in your regular season bouts, but it's all about earning the points necessary to get to the playoffs and potentially punch your ticket to a $1 million championship. Do we see more intense fights than we even are accustomed to tomorrow night?
I think so. There's a lot on the line. We're seeing fighters at their peak. I absolutely think we're going to see that tomorrow night.
Randy, let's tell it like it is. You fought for some big purses. You fought for fights that will set you up for those big paydays, life-changing stuff.
Yep.
Does it actually motivate these fighters to go above and beyond, not only in training, but in the fight?
I think experience is everything in this, and being able to block out all that pressure and block out all those things that get in the way, that want to cause you to stumble or doubt yourself, is what the key is going into tomorrow night.
The coverage tomorrow night begins on ESPN+. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. From there, we'll move on to our main card, simulcasted on ESPN+ and ESPN Deportes, but we'll be on Big Boy ESPN for our playoff fight. It's win or go home. Keep the $1 million dream alive or kick the can down the road until next year. Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Kenny Florian, we'll all be here. Join us.